13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, 17 clicks of compression. That's interesting. Ooh, what's this? You can see there's a 140 etching and a 180. So here is the hydraulic cartridge. You can even compress it as well. Whoa! You know what? We will do a comparison to see whether or not this gold colored stanchion resembles the Kashima coating on Fox suspension. What's cracking, guys and girls? Hopefully everyone's doing all right. I know I am. This is going to be a different video altogether because I don't usually review suspension components, but one could argue that this is probably a good start to do so. But yeah, as the thumbnail suggests, we're going to be taking a look at this, the Bucklos 38 air fork. This is something which has been a bit controversial in my opinion because a lot of people would refer to this as the KO Fox 38 fork. And other people would just refer to it as a unsafe budget fork, which should not have seen the light of day. But nevertheless, we're going to crack this thing open, see what's in the box. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll have some time in order for us to find out what this thing's all about. So stay tuned. Okay. All right, so we did get a couple of free gifts with this, so we might as well see what's included. First thing is what's this? Some kind of a brief manual or instruction guide, printed on A4 piece of paper. So I'll leave. You'll probably seeing it on screen. I'll scan it in and make it into a PDF, and then of course you'll probably reading what's on it. Kind of interesting information. I'm pretty sure a lot of this it's actually printed on the lower legs as to the pressures and such actually. But okay, that's cool. What else do we have? We have some brake pads. Okay, Bucklos branded brake pads for I think these are for Shimano single piston brakes, like the M200s. It's nice. Looks like we got two, so we got a set. Okay, that's nice. Headset spacers. A lot of headset spacers. That's nice. We've got quite a few of these, but never can not have enough. And perfect. And a star nut. This will come in handy. Technically, I even got one in anticipation of this fork, but no, we'll use the supplied one, which is it's pretty handy. So that's good. And that's it. Okay, so yeah, let's put these to one side. The fork. Initial observations. Well, let's start with the left-hand side. So this is an air fork. You can see here there's a, yep, here's the air valve. So if you can see that there. But yeah, so that's cool. On the right-hand side, I'm assuming this is compression. It's fully open. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, 17 clicks of compression. That's interesting. I weren't expecting that. This is the first time I'm messing around with this brand of fork. I'll be honest with you. 17 clicks of compression. I'm assuming that, yep, rebound. Rebound is on the same side, on the right-hand side. How many clicks of rebound do we have? I'm assuming it's fully open or fully sped up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nine clicks of rebound. 15 by 110 axle. Unders by the right hand side. I'm assuming that's a 6mm. That's cool. This is a 180 post mount, so you will need a 20mm adapter in order to run it with 203 or 200mm rotors. I'm assuming these are for maybe mud guards, maybe. I think these are basically where you would actually put oil into the fork in order to improve the lubrication. That's something we'll be looking at. Ooh, what's this? All right, so this is interesting. Okay, so on the right hand side of the fork, you probably can't see it, but I'll obviously have a bit of a screen view, better view. You can see there's a 140 etching and a 180. So this kind of tells me, I mean, we haven't cracked the fork open, but this tells me that you might be able to set this between 140 and 180. Now, I'll be honest with you, the axle to crown on this fork took me by surprise because I think, if memory serves, this is like 615. Now, typically, this type of axle to crown you'd only see on downhill forks. So, yeah, not many forks or not many bikes are going to be able to take this particular type of fork, despite it being a 38. But if you can set the travel between 140 to 180, this might be useful. I mean, like I said, I don't know how one would adjust the travel. I don't know if it's like done internally where like it's like Suntour where it's notchings or like travel reducers, or whether it's like Fox or RockShox where you'd have to get a new air spring. Although having said that, I don't think this fork uses what is considered an air spring. When we crack open this fork, we'll obviously fathom this out. But that's pretty interesting. That I was not expecting that. If you can change it between 140 to 180, considering that Bucklos don't declare that, that's interesting. Okay, all right. The steerer, they say the steerer is supposed to be 220. Don't have my actual tape measure, but I've got a ruler, so I'll just quickly measure. 220. That's correct. Obviously, this is not the best. I'm hearing something in this. Not like a rattle. More like liquid. I don't know if the mic is even picking this up, actually, but my ears are. I swear I'm hearing some kind of a liquid in this. That's bizarre. I wouldn't have thought that the fork like this would have actually used any form of oil. Huh. We're finding out something new, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say that much. Yeah, so 220 steer. Okay, I can imagine some people are going to want to know whether or not the actual stanchions actually measure to 180. Doing this very carefully without nicking the stanchions. Yeah, it is showing 180. Did that off camera. You're probably seeing a better shot of it, but yeah, it is showing 180. So yeah, 180 millimeters of stanchion exposed. Mind you, actually, like if you can amend the travel on this, actually, that will be surprising. Yeah, we can have the brake hose here. Looks like I think this is a 3mm. So okay, pretty interesting. The oh gosh, what's it called? O-ring. The O-ring is on the right hand side, which is a bit bizarre. Usually, most air O-rings I see, they're usually on the same side as the air chamber. Okay, all right. It feels bloody hell. We can even compress it as well. Whoa! Okay. Okay, so I'm just doing this on my legs. Oil is in this. There's oil in this. Oh my gosh, is that? It felt like oil was in this. Okay. All right, this is okay. All right. That's surprising. I did not think that. Before we move on, yeah, it looks like these are stickers. Yeah, so these are yeah, you can peel these off. To be fair, actually, the 38 you can kind of keep these. I mean, not to try and insinuate anything, but let's say hypothetically you're looking at an excuse to try and masquerade these as actual Fox 38. I mean, I'm pretty sure that someone who is versed at Fox 38s, they're going to know that these aren't. But having said that, though, I mean, if you peel these off and put like Fox stickers on this, maybe you could try and masquerade them as. I'm not saying you get away with it, but yeah, you know what? We will do a comparison to see whether or not this gold coloured stanchion resembles the Kashima coating on Fox suspension. That's going to be interesting. Oh, and tapered steerer. So inch and 1.18 up top and 1.5 at the bottom. So it's again typical tapered. All right, okay. This is interesting. You've heard me waffle off enough. Let's equip these to a bike. Let's have a bit of a go, and then yeah, once we've had a bit of a go and understood what the forks feel like, then we can crack them open. All right, so the bike I'm going to be using for the purposes of testing the fork is going to be my new Proof Megawatt. Now, truth be told, technically the axle to crown on the Bucklos 38 I think is a bit high for the Megawatt, but I'm still going to run it on this bike anyway. I don't care. But yeah, let's get it on and see what it's all about. Okay, so before we install the fork, let me just show you something quick. So I did say that we'd actually compare the Kashima coating on a Fox suspension to the Bucklos. The camera's not probably picking it up perfectly, but yeah, it's not identical. It's not identical, but yeah. But having said that, though, I am aware that there is a bit of a discrepancy between the Kashima coating, between different variants and era of Fox suspension. All right, so here's the fork installed onto the bike. I got to be honest, it looks interesting. Like I'll come from this view, and obviously you guys tell me. So yeah, as I was saying before, obviously the Kashima coating for a Fox fork is a lot different compared to the Bucklos. But having said that, though, I mean it's. Oh, am I kidding? It's noticeable. If you were to look at it maybe from afar, you might be fooled. But to be honest with you, it's only when you get up close and personal that's when it becomes evidently clear that it's not a true Fox 38. Yeah, new Proof Megawatt with the Bucklos 38. Okay. All right, so it's the next day. I've had a brief little ride in relation to the Bucklos 38. I won't lie, I can't really gauge the performance of the fork because it's done one thing which I knew it was going to do, but I thought, you know what, let's see what the bike rode anyway. But the BB height on the Megawatt is so high. Like I measured it, it's over 360 in this configuration with this Bucklos fork. It's too high for me. So recalling what I said yesterday about how the fork claims that obviously it can be adjusted between 140 to 180. I want to see whether or not that's possible. So we're going to strip down this fork, find out whether or not internally it can be adjusted or what you have to do in order to change the travel, because I think a 170 setup would probably benefit this bike. And then, yeah, once I've been able to do all that, then I can finally hit some dirt. So stay tuned. In addition, because I know one of my friends asked me the question whether or not you could put something like volume spacers in the fork. We'll find out, because obviously we're gonna strip this thing anyway. But I have a funny feeling the answer is going to be no. I don't think you can. Bucklos instructions didn't say that you can, but we'll find out, won't we? So the answer is no. There is no method as to how you can put volume spacers into this. In fact, just for context, so here is a Fox volume spacer. Clearly, there's no method as to this being able to screw in or attach on. In fact, just for you're probably seeing a better shot of it, but there's no thread insert into this. So obviously, a RockShox bottom out token can't be screwed in, and there's no attachment point for this to be screwed in like with a Fox volume spacer. So no. Although, hang on, bear with me. All right, so something did come to mind actually. So for those of you who recall, these are like the old, really old RockShox volume tokens, which you could put into like the older Pikes and the Selects and the Revelations and so on and so forth. So these are designed more for like a 32mm stanchion fork. Funnily enough, it does fit in, but it's not ideal. Like there's no method as to how it can kind of like screw in or attach in. So like the only method as to you being able to do this is to essentially glue it in. And even so, like that's just one. Obviously, like you'd probably want like a couple if you're planning to kind of go down this method. But in fact, does it actually? Please don't drop it into the. Yeah, it would slide in, it would go in, but ultimately, again, it's more of a case where you'd need to kind of glue it in. So, no, it's not really designed for volume spacers, but you get the point. Like, if you were clever about it, you might be able to jury rig something, but I'm going to say no, it's not designed for it. All right, so here is the hydraulic cartridge. I'll be completely honest with you. There's no way in which you can amend the travel on this. This is fixed to 180. In fact, just for reference, so this is the part in which would be for the upper stanchions, and then this part would be for the lower legs. So here is where the rebound dial would be attached onto. There's a crush washer which obviously attaches onto the lower legs, and then of course it obviously just like sits in there. And this upper part, this is where your compression dial would be, and then of course this entire area would be for where the stanchions are. Going back to yesterday when I was doing that little pressing test on my knees. Okay. You probably heard the sound. That's what you're hearing, basically. And incidentally, this kind of explains near enough everything. So again, the rebound and the compression, it's all, this is it. This is everything. What else to talk about? This, surprisingly, this wasn't that difficult to remove off the fork. I actually thought that I would have to need to remove the entire lower legs from the fork. But funnily enough, actually, it was a case in which as soon as I unscrewed the compression dial off and that was freed, and then the rebound dial, and then got the crush washer and the nut which secured everything on. Essentially, I was able just to pull it from the top, and it all came out. So the fork is technically still intact. So that kind of tells me that you may not even need to do a lower leg service for this unless you need to swap out, say, the wiper seals. And even so, like the wiper seals, how the fork is designed, it's designed so that you can literally pour liquid or oil in order to keep it going. But again, it's It's simple. That's the best way I can really describe this. This is a simple hydraulic cartridge damper, and I use the damper term loosely. Um, but like I said, there's no method as to what I can see here, which you can obviously adjust the travel. The only way in which I could physically think of to adjust the travel is you'd need a new one of these. This is 180 millimeters, so this is the part which determines the actual travel. So yeah, there's no there's no notch systems like Suntour. There's no volume travel adjusters in which you can kind of put into this. And even if there were, it wouldn't affect the length. It would just determine how much travel you could use. So yeah, this is ultimately what I'm working with. So okay, all right. One thing I wouldn't mind doing actually, because you can hear you can hear that, I'm sure. And obviously, when I did the press on my knees, you could hear it even more. I'm just going to take some zirconium. Um, I'm just going to see what happens if I actually just put a bit of zirconium or silicone on the rod. See if it actually quiets it up. Not really, although it has made it quicker. If I put a little bit more, does it actually speed it up even more? Don't want to really be wasteful in relation to this. Huh. Oh, sped it up. Good to know. Good to know. All right, let's put this back in the bike, and at least I know how to remove this. Like the oil, I'll be honest with you. Like there was a little bit of oil which I was able to catch regarding when I took this off. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like I've just cleaned out one of my syringes, and I'm just going to syringe it up and put it back same way. But like I said, let's put this back into place, and then yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. I've put the fork back onto the megawatt, so yeah, we'll be able to obviously well, we'll be revisiting how good this fork is. Don't ask me what the longevity of this fork is like at this stage because I've only had it for what 2 days now. But yeah, if you got any questions, pop them down in the comment section, and hopefully I'll be able to obviously get back to you and respond. But yeah, Bucklos 38. Initial impressions are it's interesting. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, gonna wrap it up here. Till the next time, guys and girls, take it easy, stay safe, peace with the journey, hashtag FABT, and I'll get you in the next one. Peace out.